Welcome to Western New York at Work. On today's show, we have Gene Filipiak, Behavioral Specialist and Managing Partner of APA Solutions.
Good morning, Buffalo, and welcome to Western New York at Work, your business-friendly conversation live here at WBBZ TV, where each and every Saturday from 10:30 to 11, we have a unique conversation with decision makers, professionals, business owners that are really the driving force and really represent the pulse of this community. And today, I'm so thrilled to have Gene Filipiak, who is the managing partner at APA Solutions. Gene, welcome to today's show.
Thank you, Dale. Very happy and honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Well, it's been a while since we've spoken. I know there's a lot that we need to catch up on. Probably can't do it in a matter of 30 minutes. However, we're going to do our best.
All right, let's do it, Dale. I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay. So before we really get into do a deep dive into what APA is about, can you just share with our listeners just a little bit about yourself and your walk coming into the world of human capital?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I've been with APA Solutions for almost 2 decades now, and I am the in-house behavioral specialist. APA as a whole really looks at human capital in a different way than maybe what you're even used to. We actually are brain-based coaches, and we look at the brain in direct correlation to workforce development. As a behavioral analyst, I look at individuals and help them redefine themselves, reinvent themselves to become the better or the best version of themselves. So my role at APA Solutions as a talent coach and behavioral specialist is really helping job seekers help themselves navigate the employment landscape. And Dale, as you can imagine, 2020 has really changed the landscape of the work world.
Yes.
I'm sure you're feeling it. I'm feeling it. And I'm sure your audience is definitely feeling how things have changed.
Yes. And that's why we're going to do a little brain surgery while helping individuals find that next career move.
Absolutely. And it's not brain surgery. I will share that with you. It's really just really working towards the natural order of the brain and how we were designed as human beings to think and leveraging that information to help better make decisions. And make decisions of really helping us identify what's best for us, knowing that the landscape has changed, and how does that help our employer achieve their goals. So it's really the union between how we operate as humans and what the employer expectations are.
Okay, yeah. And that being said, you're working with leadership teams, training and development professionals, as well as job seekers there again, and you're providing some cutting edge on-demand solutions, to that population.
Absolutely. Our team, we have a narrow leadership team. Consider, as you know, Joan Gracie, who is my mentor and my muse and really has helped shape the changes that APA has been able to deliver to Western New Yorkers, but also we cross state lines and we've actually become more international in scope. And it's with the help of Dr. Eric Mealins, our in-house expert, that allows to bring the theory and the book smarts to the table, while Joan, myself, and Matt really bring in so they're street smarts, right? The boots on the street, applying how we can leverage neuroscience into our work lives.
Okay, great. And for someone who's never heard of brain-based solutions or neuroscience, can you explain exactly what it is?
Yep. So it's understanding the importance of integrating math and science into the work that we do.
Okay.
So when you're looking at the math and science and the data to be able to help you hire, retain, and develop their employees. So going back to utilizing the natural order of how we think and how we operate as human beings, we incorporate that to give our employers, if you will, the organizations that we serve, the best cutting edge solutions to deliver exponential growth within our clients' revenues, production, and really adding to the retention rates of the people that they employ.
Okay, all right. Now, if I'm a job seeker, how does that reflect or impact my job search?
Tremendously. So as you can imagine, things have changed. Things were actually changing due to the technology boom back in 2005. And now companies today are really looking, they're really working harder, smarter, and faster and just trying to do better. We're
Okay.
doing a lot more with less. And now you compound the social unrest, the political unrest, and then the pandemic unrest. It really leaves job seekers in an abyss of what do I do now? I'm seeing these jobs, but I'm not getting a response. I have to go on this interview, but what is it like to interview today? So we really incorporate for job seekers looking for a job today that this neuroscience bend to it, really understanding self-awareness and how self-awareness can help you leverage your candidacy within the interview process. Because it begins with self-awareness, and when you have self-awareness, it can lead to self-advancement and then getting closer to that offer stage.
Okay. And that self-awareness that you're speaking of, is that mostly directed at the candidate, the individual themselves, or the overall, whomever they are interacting with in the culture of that organization?
Both, Dale. You said it. I love it. So it's really first and foremost, self-awareness begins with the person, really understand their strengths and their weaknesses. And we've worked together in the past before, and we leverage an assessment that it gives you an inside look of how someone does what they do, so their behaviors, what drives them, their driving forces. And now the number one key competency that employers are looking for is their ability to understand their own emotional intelligence. It's the intersection between utilizing emotional intelligence and their intellect when they come together really sets an individual apart when they're looking for a promotion or looking to pivot their career in a new position. So first it starts with themselves, and then you take that information to start really understanding others. And then, so for example, if you're in an interview, I know this about myself and how I may portray in an interview, then you are able to say, okay, who am I talking to on the other side of the virtual meeting and or the in-person meeting? Times have changed, right? And,
Yes.
and being able to pick up on those cues on how to communicate more effectively to the person on the screen, such as yourself, it sets you apart when you don't have this type of training, and leverage it. Now we're wearing masks. So how do you pick up on cues when you can't see someone smile on that wearing a face mask? Yes, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be 6 feet apart during an interview. If you're in person, you're able to kind of take the mask off. But what if you can't? And you're really looking at the eyebrows, and you're really looking at and making good guesstimations to be able to enhance that communication. And that's really where our training and development comes into play, is through the self-awareness of yourself and others.
Okay. And what's the starting point of that conversation? Are there certain tools that yourself as a behavioral specialist that you utilize and talking to that candidate, talking to that individual to kind of find out, what is his or her self-awareness and what directions you need to take?
Yeah, so the one of the tools that we use is, we call it the trimetrics EQ, which it does incorporate the behaviors, the motivators, and the EQ all together. And it's really just a 45-minute self-assessment online assessment that you do take. And then once we get those results, we have you have a one-on-one coaching session, or you'll come into what we call the business community workshop, where we bring people from different areas coming together to learn and grow and develop together. So we do an online, you mentioned earlier, the U Inc. So once you take the assessment, you can be self-directed and just go on an online course, or you can partner with one of our coaches, such as Joan, Eric, Matt, myself, and do a one-on-one coaching session or go to the community workshops that I mentioned earlier. Other tools that we use is really spending a good amount of time with the research that we've done as a research house, really understanding employers today, understanding what they're thinking and feeling, giving them surveys and having the surveys come back and crunching the data to really release it to the job seekers so they are armed with the information of what those employers are thinking and feeling.
Okay. And speaking of employers, I think that's a good transition into the next portion of this conversation. What are you hearing from employers today? What are they looking for? What are they maybe not seeing as much of? What are some of their pain points that you assist them with?
I would like to take it from what are they looking for first, Dale, because it's so important that employers have shared with us that when they're looking for a job seeker or even expectations they have on their own employees, is they really are looking for that person to take ownership of their background. And that's where we get, if you go to our website, you'll see You Inc. And that's where we got that concept from, because employers are looking for those individuals to take ownership of their background. And we always say here at APA, you own a business and the business you own is your background. And we have an opportunity here as you work your own business to develop your departments, such as human resource, sales and marketing, operations, finance and technology. And if you develop those departments within yourself, you're going to be unstoppable and employers are going to be very interested in you. So the next part of that is what characteristics are they looking for besides that ownership mentality of You Inc.? They're really looking, since the pandemic specifically, is resiliency. They want an individual who has experienced hardship. And then how do they overcome that hardship? How are they pivoting towards growth? Are they working with a growth mindset, or are they stuck in their fixed mindset? And we spent a lot of time talking about the brain and growth versus fixed overall. And like you had mentioned, we don't have enough time to really go into the growth versus fixed mindset, but to move it into a forward direction, that resiliency and embodying that notion is critical to the survival of employees today. So resiliency, once again, is one of those key components that employers looking for. I already mentioned emotional intelligence. I already mentioned self-awareness, the ability to be flexible and adaptable. There was a lot of talk in the beginning of when the pandemic hit in regards to, we have to now all go virtual, but no one had the script on how to manage the business at a virtual height, being remote, and trust had to be rebuilt. So the core values that a company used to live by, or their vision, the mission, almost had to be redefined with the new work world, being virtual or being hybrid, yes, or recognizing final thought that adaptable and flexibility, if you're an essential worker, really playing to their motivators to have them be successful in a role that's requiring them to be on site. Okay. So sorry, Dale, I'll pause there.
No, that's great information. In fact, we're going to take a very short break. Buffalo, don't go anywhere. You're watching Western New York at Work with Dale Martin and Gene Filipiak. And when we come back, we're going to find out how you can take advantage of some of their solutions, some of their brain-based training that they're going to be offering throughout Western New York.
Western New York at Work is brought to you by our key business partners and many business professionals.
Bocce's Club Pizza, Staff Buffalo, Buffalo Healthy Living, CAI, Hope Buffalo, Embassy Suites, 716 Limousine.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Get it.
Daddy?
She'll get it.
Get it. Get it.
When you bring home a Goodwill find, you give your whole town a reason to celebrate because you're also funding local job training and placement programs in tech, healthcare, and more. Goodwill. Bring good home.
Welcome back to Western New York at Work with Dale Martin and Gene Filipiak with APA Solutions. And we've been having a very interesting conversation today about brain-based science and math and understanding your self-awareness. And in today's climate, that's asking for a lot. Just even my own walks of life. I'm seeing individuals that are just stressed out. They want to pivot, but they don't know what to do.
Good segue, Dale. That's very common. We're living in a world that stress is almost the new normal, but it doesn't need to be the new normal. And I think the more education you can provide yourself to understand what is happening in the employment world. So for example, Dale, if you're looking to make a pivot and you're looking to make a career change, you just asked me, where do I start? Most people start with the resume. I need a job. I lost my job. I hate my job. They get a resume together. And that resume tends to be a chronological event of what they've done, right?
Yes.
You can Google any resume template and it'll be a chronological event story. But at UInc Career Reform, we don't start there. We goes back to earlier in our first segment is that it has to start with your inventory. What makes you unique? What are your goals? Who wants to buy you, if you will? So it really starts with self-discovery, analyzing what's in your toolbox and what do you want to leverage in that toolbox in order to identify what that right career opportunity is for you.
Okay.
Then once we understand your personal inventory, you understand your career direction to a certain degree. And if you don't know your career direction, we're happy to assess you in that manner too, and really help you plan out that career strategy. But let's just say you do, Eugene, you know what? I want to go into sales and marketing. I love what I was doing. I'm just looking for someone else to do it with. Then once we do that skills inventory, then we build out that resume. And then we really do a resume that's more about, yes, it has to be about your past. It has to be about your present, but it also has to tell what your future is and how your future interacts with that employer and their hiring need. They spend a good amount of time in a room discussing what they need and who they need.
Okay.
They identify the duties and responsibilities of that role. So job seekers, entry level to executive level, have to do that good upfront work as well. The one size resume fits all no longer works. You have to customize your resume to every single position that you're applying to. And that's stress in itself, right?
Okay. Yes.
So let's just say, if we're going to talk about stress a little bit further, because I think it's important to address, is you're coming into this equation stressful because you need a job. You got to start paying your bills. The employer is stressful because they got to hire right. And so now we have two people coming to the party who are mutually stressed. And you can imagine it's like two magnets trying to get together and they can't. And they're just trying to, there's such a disconnect. So to put yourself in a good thinking brain, so you are really on low emotion where you're calm, you're relaxed, it goes back as a job seeker, is that self-awareness skills inventory.
Yes.
And then practice, know your narrative. We can help you create that narrative of who you are, where you're going, and how you're going to help that employer.
Yeah. Gina, I'll tell you, I can't help but think that based on your approach, in some cases, you might even be reinventing that individual because he or she has come to the table with certain beliefs, certain habits, certain thoughts that they've accumulated over their career or just through life in general. And now there's this new self-awareness that you are introducing them to. And that can be uncomfortable, but it can also be equally rewarding because that new awareness is going to help them thrive and grow.
Absolutely, Dale. We're getting them to think. I guarantee when you come and get trained by us, we get you thinking in a completely different way than you had thought in the past. You hit on something very near and dear is, through nature and nurture, you downloaded in your 3-pound command center, which is our brain. It's not a muscle, but it acts like a muscle. So if you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing and thinking you're doing it right and not generating new thoughts or carving out new brain pathways, you're not going to be able to make that pivot. So our goal is to have you recognize what have you downloaded in your filing cabinets, your brain.
Yes.
And we do it so it's sticky. So we actually show you a picture of a filing cabinet, and there's a job seeker filing cabinet, and then there is actually an employer filing cabinet. Right?
Yes.
And so the more you understand what's in those filing cabinets, the more you're able to then maybe say, wait a minute, I don't like what's in this anymore. Right? I want to change this filing cabinet or this drawer in this filing cabinet to help best suit me as well as that employer. So we go through that process of discovery, understanding how our brain operates, understanding what's in our filing cabinets, because then eventually it'll allow you to reduce your stress going into that conversation because you're more aware.
Okay. I want to make sure that we provide your contact information because I don't think we've mentioned that up to this point in today's show. So can you provide your telephone number and your web address?
Yep. So telephone first. So it's 716-626-0070. Or if you're out of the area, you can use 1-800-230-9651. 1-800-230-9651. Or you could just go to our website and click on the contact us, and our website is apasolutions with an s.com. So it's Apple Peter Apple Solutions.com with an S.
Western New York at Work is brought to you by our key business partners and many business professionals.
Bocce's Club Pizza, Staff Buffalo, Buffalo Healthy Living, CAI, Hope Buffalo, Embassy Suites, 716 Limousine.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to Western New York at Work with Dale Martin and Gene Filipiak with APA Solutions.
Do you mind, Dale, if I do a little bit of our upcoming sessions?
Oh, absolutely. Please do.
Okay, I'm very excited. So we are going to be starting EQ for job seekers. So it's really jumpstarting your career brain and really being able to leverage the science of self to help you engage in the interview process, because ultimately the goal is to get the offer. And we will have guest speakers. We're joining us will be Lori Schultz. She's a master communication coach, and she's going to help individuals with their virtual presence. And she's going to be able to speak to what I call brain-based relationship management, is really understanding how to communicate to all levels of interviewers, so CEOs to human resource managers while you're in the interview process. This next session on March 17th is social awareness in the workplace and the interview. And then the last session on March 24th is brain-based relationship management. So we're so excited to be able to present this training to job seekers or career enhancers. And then you're also going to be bonus. You're going to get the assessment for free and the online course for free too.
That is fantastic, Gene. I can't commend you enough for putting this type of brain-based solutions together for this community, but also during a time when it's needed the most.
It sure is, and it goes back to, there are good jobs out there and there are good candidates. It's just that there's such a disconnect between the two entities. How you look for a job has completely changed. You can't just, still today, you can't just go on Indeed and hope the job is going to be there for yourself. You have to use a multifaceted approach. And that's what this training is going to help you do, is identify what that multifaceted approach is to get you closer to the offer stage. Speaking about open jobs, Dale, if I may, I'd love to share that, APA as a talent specialist, we're retained by our clients to help them fill positions. And we have great opportunities in technology. We have opportunities in general labor even, because even as a general labor or assembler, if you will, employers want to know you care about that job. They want to know you're a career assembler, and they're looking for committed people that have the passion to do that role. So when I mentioned technology position, I have a network admin position available, a reporting analyst position, as well as an HR person.
Well, Gene, we're coming to close to the end of our show. Is there anything that we want to make sure that we share with our viewers that we haven't touched upon?
I think the biggest takeaway that I would like to share with your viewing audience is that if you change your thoughts, you can change your behavior. But if you don't have the script for it, and if you don't have a file folder for it in your mental filing cabinet, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do. But you can do it with the right guidance and the right tools to change that shift.
Well, I tell you, I think there's many of us that want to empty out our filing cabinets and look at 2021 as a new way to jumpstart our career and get in touch with ourselves and develop that self-awareness that you've talked about often throughout today's conversation. So again, congratulations. I look forward to us working together in the future. And you have a great remainder to your day.
Oh, you too, Dale. Thank you very much for having me on today.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Western New York at Work is brought to you by our key business partners and many business professionals.
Bocce's Club Pizza, Staff Buffalo, Buffalo Healthy Living, CAI, Hope Buffalo, Embassy Suites, 716 Limousine.